What is going on YouTube? Greetings from Chiang Mai, Thailand. In today's video, I'm gonna tell you what's in my carry-on only bag after 6 months of traveling. This is actually my last night here in Chiang Mai. Tomorrow, I jump on a plane and head to Kyoto, Japan. So I'm really excited about that, but I'm also gonna really miss Chiang Mai and I'll definitely be back here again for sure. Since I'm leaving tomorrow and I need to pack, I figured I'd share with you what's in my carry-on only bag after 6 months of traveling. For those of you that have been watching my channel for a while, you'll know that I am a carry-on only traveler. And when I first left, I did a video showing exactly what I was gonna carry with me. Well, some of that stuff has changed and I figured I'd do a video updating you on what's in my bag after 6 months of traveling. I'm also gonna go ahead and pack it all up in this video so you'll see exactly how I get all this stuff in my carry-on only bag. Okay, if you remember from way back in my first carry-on only video, I was traveling with a 30-liter Osprey backpack, which I still have, and a over-the-shoulder satchel where I put all my camera equipment and my computer. Well, I've gotten rid of that satchel and now I only travel with my 30-liter Osprey backpack. I did that for a couple reasons. Number one, I can fit everything in my 30-liter backpack, so I didn't really need the satchel. And some of the low budget airlines here in Southeast Asia and Latin America will count that satchel as your carry-on, and they were making me check my 30-liter backpack. So I've solved that one bag only problem by just traveling with one bag. I do have a little workaround with that and I'll show you later on in this video. Okay, so let's start packing everything up. So when I first started traveling, I had packing cubes and a Sea to Summit compression bag. I got rid of the packing cubes and now all I have is the compression bag. The reason I got rid of them is I didn't really need them. Almost everything I have fits into the compression sack, and so that's all I travel with now in my bag. Okay, so the compression sack I travel with is a Sea to Summit. I think this is I wanna say it's a 10-liter bag. I'll put a link in the description. It's great, I love it. I can fit so much stuff in here and then I can compress it down, and I'll show you that in a moment. So let's start with my shorts. I don't pack all of these shorts in the compression sack. I have 5 pair of shorts. 2 of them I'll go ahead and lay flat in my bag, and I just do that so I can fit more stuff in this compression bag. 4 out of 5 pair of my shorts are multifunctional. They're also swim trunks. I really like going to the beach and I like swimming in pools, so I needed a bunch of swim trunks anyway. A couple pairs I have are Quicksilver, and the other 2 pairs are really cheap Amazon Essentials. And the reason I have those is so I can just ditch them whenever I go to Europe and it's a little bit colder, and I can add another pair of pants. The Amazon Essential shorts are only like $15, so I don't really feel bad about ditching them. Okay, so I'm gonna put 3 pair of these shorts in my bag. Okay, so the next thing I like to put in my bag are my shirts. I have 7 shirts. I have the shirt I'm wearing and I have 6 other shirts. They're all merino wool shirts, and I won't go too in-depth about them. I did a very in-depth merino wool review video and you can see all 7 shirts I have. I have 6 short sleeve t-shirts and I have 1 long sleeve merino wool t-shirt. I really love that long sleeve merino wool t-shirt. It's very multifunctional. I've worn it hiking in cold climates to Rainbow Mountain and in Patagonia. But I can also pair it with these jeans that I'm wearing and go into a club and have no issue. All right, so I'm gonna pack these up real quick. I like to roll these up really tight. If you've never seen my video on how to do this, how to do a Ranger roll, I'll go ahead and link it somewhere above my head. All right, now that I got all my t-shirts in, I'm gonna throw my underwear in. So I travel with 4 pair of underwear, 3 merino wool unbound merino underwear, and 1 pair of ex officio. All right, so the last thing I'm gonna throw in this compression sack are my slacks. I love these slacks. They're by Bluffworks. They're the thin cut chinos, and these things are also multifunctional. I've hiked Patagonia. I've hiked Machu Picchu in these. They're great hiking pants, but they can also be worn as dress pants. And I've gotten into some really nice Michelin-starred restaurants in these things and had no issue. All right, so I think I'm gonna try to get one more item actually in this compression sack. So I don't travel with an umbrella. I travel with a rain jacket. This is the only jacket I have. If you watched my previous video, you'll know I left with 2 jackets. I left with this and a puffy jacket. I lost that puffy jacket. I actually used it as a pillow on a plane and it fell in between the seats and I forgot to grab it. And so now I'm just traveling one jacket, which is fine. I'm in Southeast Asia right now and I don't need another jacket. But when I head over to Europe, it's going to be a little bit colder, and so I will add a puffy jacket. But if you remember from before, I get those puffy jackets that like fold into their pocket, and you can compress those down really easily. I might actually get rid of this rain jacket. I've been thinking about just getting those cheap ponchos that you can get, those reusable ones you can get at like 7-Eleven. I have used this a few times, but I don't think I use it enough to justify the space that it takes up in my bag. So next time I go home, I will probably leave this and just replace it with one of those ponchos or a couple of them, because they come in those little packs and you can just throw it in a side pocket in my bag. All right, so I pretty much got this thing as full as I can get it. So I want to show you how great this thing is. All right, so that's pretty much all I'm going to stick in here. This Sea to Summit compression bag is actually one of the keys to my carry-on only travel lifestyle and why I was able to ditch my other bag. It just compresses this stuff down so well. I can't recommend this thing highly enough. If you're trying to travel carry-on only, definitely get one of these. They're really cheap too. I think it's like 20 bucks or something like that. Much cheaper than the compression sacks. And you have all this leverage that you can get with this thing. So I usually just crank down on this thing and get it as small as I possibly can. One of the great things about merino wool, most of the stuff in here is merino wool, is it doesn't wrinkle that much. And what I do when I get to a new place is I just go throw them in the sink, soak them in water for a little bit, and then I hang dry them and all the wrinkles come out. So I highly recommend merino wool too. You should check out my merino wool review video. All right, so I can definitely crank on this thing and get it smaller. All right, I could probably get this thing a little bit smaller, but I think this is good enough. All right, so what I do, this is the 30-liter Osprey backpack I travel with. This thing is great. It's like $100. It's one of the best investments I've made. I wasn't sure if this was going to be a big enough bag. I thought about getting a 36 or a 42, but this one has worked out great. And it looks so small. You'll see when it's packed up. It just looks like a high school backpack or something. And I can't recommend this thing enough if you're going to do carry-on only. I love it. I'm actually probably going to do a review video of this backpack, because I think if you're going to go carry-on only, no matter who you fly with, no matter what budget airline you're flying with, you can probably get this on as carry-on. Okay, now that we've got most of the clothes packed, I'll show you how I start to pack this thing. So what I'll usually do is I'll throw a pair of shorts in here on the bottom. I'll just like line the bottom of it with the shorts. And this is just because I can't fit them all in the compression sack. All right, so once I got the shorts in, I'll take this compression sack and I'll throw it at the bottom of the bag. So all my clothes are down here at the bottom and I have all this space left in the bag. That's what's so great about that Sea to Summit compression bag. It makes traveling with a 30-liter bag like this possible. I have 3 pair of socks that I travel with. I have 2 pair of ankle socks. These are both merino wool and they're both made by Unbound Merino. They're great. I use them as workout socks mostly. So I usually just throw these in my bag. All right, so the next thing I travel with, which some people think is weird, is I travel with a travel scale. I'm really into fitness and I like to monitor my weight. This is just one of those luxury items that I made room for in my bag. I usually throw this back here where the computer goes. I have 2 slots. So one I'll put my computer in and the other one I'll put that travel scale in. All right, so the next stuff I have here are just ins and outs. So I always travel with a pair of sandals. I put these sandals in the back here where the straps tuck in so I don't have to take up space in the bag. I could probably fit these sandals in the bag, but I just throw them back here. It's worked for me, and so that's what I do. These are actually bigger sandals than the ones I started with, and I'll probably, when those ones wear out, I'll probably get a smaller pair of sandals. And now it's just throwing the rest of my stuff in my bag. I have a lot of electronics. I'm a full-time travel vlogger, so I have all my travel electronics. I have this hard drive here. It's one of those rugged ones, so I don't mind just throwing it in here. I also have a extra battery charger by Anker. This thing's really cool. I got the smaller version and it always keeps my phone charged on flights and stuff like that. So this thing's perfect for me. They make a longer version, but this one works for me. I don't need anything bigger, especially with the size bag I have. I usually pack this up here on top so I can, so I have access to it. There's a little pocket on this Osprey bag on top you have quick access to. All right, so the rest is just, like I said, the electronic gear I travel with. So I have my camera, my A6500, and one lens in there. I have this extra lens, which is my Sigma 16mm. I'm actually thinking about switching cameras to a much smaller camera. I have an A6500 and I have two lenses. I'm thinking about switching to the new Sony RX Mark 7, I believe it is. It seems to have everything I want in a camera, but in a much more portable size. So I'm thinking of switching that camera, and that'll save me even more space in this bag. This little bag here stores a bunch of my my wires, my electronics, my universal adapter, and this is the only extra bag I kept besides that compression bag. It's made by Eagle Creek. I have my ball cap. I have my warm cap that I keep in here. This is my little microphone. And this is another thing for my camera. And I have this long pole for my GoPro. It helps me take, it actually goes up to about 6 feet, and it helps me take aerial shots. So I've gotten rid of my drone. I used to have a drone, but I just wasn't using it enough to justify all the space it took in my backpack. So I got rid of it and I replaced it with this. And I get sort of drone shots with this. So next is just another little tripod that I use for my phone and my A6500 sometimes. And then just all the other odds and ends that go into my bag. All right. The last thing before I talk about these two little bags right here is my MacBook. I got a new MacBook. I started with a 13-inch. It broke on me, and so I had to buy a new one, and now I have a 15-inch MacBook. It makes editing videos a lot easier, and I have a cover for it, but I loaned it to a friend who's traveling to an island right now. She'll be getting it back to me tomorrow before I leave. So this will actually be in a little cover, so it'll be more protected. But that I just throw back here. And that's pretty much everything I own. Again, I keep saying how much I love this bag. What's great about this Osprey bag is it also has these compression straps, so you can make this bag look much smaller and compress your stuff. So you don't have to worry about some ticket agent thinking that she needs to weigh your bag. So yeah, that's it. Everything I own, everything I travel with is in this bag right here. It's pretty heavy. Last time I had it weighed, it was 16 kilograms. And most budget flights over here in Asia won't let you bring any more than 9 kilograms. So I really like this bag because it looks small and I can usually avoid getting it weighed. All right, so let's talk about these two bags. So these two bags I pack in here. If someone decides to weigh my bag at the airport, I can take all my valuable items out, like my computer, like my cameras, and I can stick them in this bag. This little bag essentially replaces my over-the-shoulder satchel I used to have, except with one big difference. When I'm not using this, I can fold it up and just throw it in my bag. So if some ticket agent does make me check this bag, I can take out all my valuables and stick them in here. I can take out my laptop, I can take out my computer, things like that. Also, another little hack, when you're going up to the counter to check in, you can throw your heavy items in here to make sure your bag weighs in at the proper weight. So you can take out your computer, you can take out your camera or whatever else is kind of heavy, and throw it in this little bag here, and they'll think it's just your personal item. The other little bag I have is this little bear bag. I found this just makes traveling so much easier. I can put my money, my wallet, my passport all in here, and it all stays in one place. And I can run it through security just in this little bag, and I know it'll be safe. And so then I don't misplace it or forget what pocket I put it in these bags. I always know it's in this little bear satchel, and I can just throw this over my head when I'm walking to the airport. I also take this bag to grocery stores when I'm in countries, so I don't have to get a bunch of plastic bags. So both these bags just have a lot of functionality and utility. So I'm really happy that I switched from that satchel I had to just these bags I can pack in here. All right, so that's my carry-on only bag. I'm headed to Kyoto, Japan. Next week I'll do an apartment tour, and then I have some pretty cool videos lined up for you. I'll be doing a sake tasting in Kyoto, and I'll also be doing a Zen Buddhist monk retreat. So both those should be really interesting videos. If you haven't subscribed already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button so you'll get notified when I post those videos. Thanks for watching.
Oh